piece of steel, and as it shifts, the line snaps out of water, and as it shifts the other way, the line goes underwater. So that's what you're looking for. But even this fall, we really couldn't see, so I'm a little worried about this. And I said, what was that? I should have said that. But I couldn't have said, where was that? I came up and thought, this little lady began to pray. And she was pretty earnest about it. She was pretty earnest about it. Bingo! Fog lifted. Just, we're 100 yards from home. It's a sunny evening. It was gorgeous. I don't tell that lady that prayer doesn't work. By the way, she's now my mother-in-law. You think that's funny? Oh, yeah. You don't have my mother-in-law. Well, there's two others here that I think really define the Lighthouse. And then after that, turn it over to someone else. I've been blaming somebody for stealing the film. That's a good one. Rotor gave it to me for speaking. I'm going to read you one called Home Court Advantage. As you age, you must have identified those things. As you age, things become more difficult. And those things that you were expert at, you really get proud of. Have you noticed that? No? I'm the only one up there. As I age, I'm very proud of those things I can still do. And I know that I'm challenged by a lot of things that I used to be able to do. When I was at the Lighthouse now, I'm getting into my 50s. This is toward the end of my tenure. But I'm an expert. I've been there. This is my turf. You get what I mean? This is my territory. I know where all the corners are. Well, we had a power failure in the middle of the marsh. We had 30 poles going across the marsh. If you start counting over by Magdala, where the ferries are short, and come across, it's 30 at the Lighthouse. This was number 20. So it's 10 poles from the Lighthouse, right in the middle of a swamp. And the line finally rotated through just to the salt. Russ never sleeps. Figure that out if you live here. It just never sleeps. And so this line finally parted. And there we go, no power. It wasn't too unusual. I called in 2 linemen to help me with this repair because it's high voltage coming across it. I mean, it's zappy if you touch it. You really don't want to do that. So we load up the boat, put all the gear in there. I'm used to loading things in buckets, light buckets. You see them all over the place, right? Best toolbox in the world. You can carry them even in the mud. I wear rallies, those rubber boots. I'm dressed actually. I live here. And these guys showed up, and we got all this stuff loaded, and drove the boat over, rammed it up on the shore, and we get out. They're meeting me in the mud, and that kind of turns them off a little bit. But we walked out through the break, and they don't like this. We're walking through a swamp. It's not just a swamp, it's a mangrove swamp. It's kind of like a little short forest. You feel like a giant. Until you get stuck in those mud pools and you feel like an idiot. Can't get your foot out. Well, they don't know the territory. So I said, stay in my tracks, stay in my tracks. They wandered off a little bit, get stuck, and then they figured it out. We're 1 mile, almost 1 mile into the swamp. They are shot. We're carrying a ladder, extension ladder, carrying 2 big coils of line. We're carrying 2 buckets full of tools. We finally get out there and go up the pole. I don't know the pole. That's not what I do. I'm the Lighthouse stupid. You're the lineman. He goes up the pole, go down. That's not what you want to hear. He's left one of the tools that really needs behind. So I reverse and go back and get it and come on back here. Smoke cigarettes, relaxing. Up goes the guy's tool. He makes the repair very good, quite an expert. Then we wrap everything up to come back. About a quarter of the way back, the lead guy squeezing so bad, I took the ladder from him. About 52-year-old shoulders and a bucket in him. Down another 50 yards, and the other guy's gone to his knees the 3rd time in the mud. He can't face it anymore, so I got this bucket. All right. Now I've got the ladder and both buckets. There's only a coil of line left. We got it. It's not long before I've got that. Now I'm walking back. We make it back over to the shore, loaded everything on the boat. I look back. These guys are tell you, it made me feel great. First thing they did when they got in the boat was light up a cigarette. People used to ask us all the time how far the lighthouse was from town. Why? I don't know. You know, it's over there. You can see it. But everybody wanted to know, how far is it from town? So we tell them various, you want to hear it in meters, you want to hear it in kilometers, or you want to hear it in miles, or whatever. But it just didn't get the feeling of distance across to them, say it's a mile and 3 tenths or whatever. Because it's so much further. But we thought about it. How far is it to town? When it's the middle of the night, there's a northern line, and there's nobody else in the water, you got to get to town. How far is it? How far is it from town when it's so cold that you can barely survive inside the house and yet you got to make a run from that water? How far is it? How far is it when you got to load the boats up with everything you own and get the heck out of there because there's a big storm coming? So, you know, it kind of depends on what you're doing, how far it is from town. How far is it when you run out of water and you've got to run a 20-foot whaler with a 200-gallon tank, midships in it, looks like a project cookie, and then pump the water out? You know, how far is it from town? How far is it when you forgot to buy the milk? How far is it when you left your damn car keys at the lighthouse? We cured that one early on by putting a board inside. We had a little locker at the dock. We put a board in there and had a spare every key ever known to our family. That was necessary. Anyway, the answer is often it's way too far. And especially it's too far to be forgetting things. And we finally decided that the proper answer is we're 2 miles and 50 years from now. We had our own water system, we had our own electrical system, we had our own sewage system, the only heat we had was a wood stove. So we were very, very independent out there, and yet totally dependent on the environment. 50 years from now. TV, God. We had one, but of course it didn't work. When the power was working, you couldn't receive anything. Finally, about the last 2 years, the public television channel took pity on us and got a stronger signal and we could receive PBS. By then, the TV was so far out of date, I'm surprised we were able to. It was really very, very different. We learned how to be self-reliant. And we learned the difference quickly between what you want and what you need. That was a very, very easily enforced lesson. Now, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Would you like to hear a letter, or have you had enough? One more. And you can't be a lighthouse keeper without doing rescues. If you want to be a lighthouse keeper, keep that in mind. If you're getting ready to go sign up for a job, you've got to do rescues, because you're the only person out there. And if someone gets in trouble, they're going to rely on you. It is not written in the law. It is not written in the sand, but it is definitely the truth. If someone comes to your door at 2 in the morning in Northern, you've got to help them. So, we did a lot of rescues. I mean, an awful lot of rescues. Most of them are simple. They're real simple. You move the boat up, tow it into town, or sometimes you just help them get off of the hard spot they run around on. You know, the water all looks the same on top, but it's real different underneath. So people get stuck all the time. They don't get to when you help them out. You know, sometimes they get out there and they run out of fuel. They're not accustomed to how much fuel an outboard takes. And so most people don't spare fuel. Some of them get out there and run out of fuel once a week because they knew I had spare fuel. One of the crabbers did that all the time. At least we did get some nice fresh stone crab claw from him. And but those folks are really just pleased. They're really, really pleased if you take the time to rescue them. And they're very thankful. They're really nice about it. Sometimes almost effusive. And odd but true, others consider their trouble to be your fault if you go to rescue them. Now you think about kind of an interesting situation here. Particularly if you seem in any way official or hell even competent. You know, then this thing shouldn't be happening to me, it must be their fault. It's not their fault that that darn shoal was there. So of course it has to be somebody's. And then the other thing is that many won't do it your way. Preferring instead to give specific orders, no matter if they just prove that they're idiots. They just prove they don't know what they're doing, but they're going to tell you how to do it. They're not going to do it true. So we thought that was kind of interesting. And some either don't listen or don't pay attention, which can cause some potentially really dangerous situations. And most are embarrassed to be in the situation. So it's public relations as well as engineering. You got to figure out, how do I tow this boat? How do I get it off of there? What's the tactic I'm going to use? Is anybody hurt? One of these people needs some help. That kind of thing. So that's a bit complicated. They can be potentially quite dangerous and require expert maneuvering to get the job done. And that puts your boat and your person at risk of injury and lawsuit. But most of them are just simple hook up with a bit of towing. Some are memorable for one reason or another. But if you're a lighthouse keeper, you really must try to render aid where needed. It's just traditional. And tradition is not to be denied lightly, in any case. After a few years, rescues became an integral part of our life, and we gained some confidence at least the more ordinary ones. Over my nearly 20 years at the helm, I performed an average of 10 per year. Most, I don't really remember, but a few stand out. There's only two kinds of boat drivers that have never run aground. You know what they are? First-time drivers, liars. Because the water, it's all nice and fluffy on the top, boy, that's what it's going to be doing. I was on my way to town one time, and I was running right on time. Well, that's important to me, and maybe to the point of maybe a little bit neurotic about it. But I like to be on time. That's important, I think. And part of it is just go along with that. So it took me a long time to learn to get along with that. But anyway, I was on my way into town. I was going to speak at the Rotary Club somewhere. Because if you're a lighthouse keeper, you can always get a gig speaking. Everybody wants to know what it's like to live out there. And I saw a guy on a sailboat. He was grounded on the flanks of San Jose Island. You know which one is San Jose? It's right across from us. On the right, there's a big, wide plank shoal out there. People run around on it. It was a clear and bright, sunny day. The wind was slight. He was in no trouble, a really safe spot. There would anyway get hurt. And certainly was going to be able to get help because it's like being in the middle of a 40-wagon. There's a lot of people going by, so I just started to pretend I didn't see him. I don't have time for that. Just passing, and he was giving the international signal. This one was supposed to mean help, and then as I started to go by, he started to give another international signal. I couldn't pass him, so I pulled him over. And he had run this small boat. It was a keel boat. You know what a keel is? It's a thing that sticks down under the boat, and it don't move. It's always there, and so if you run aground, it's kind of like having a shovel or a knife under your boat. Sticks right in the mud. Well, that's what he'd done. It was a keel boat. And he was on a really wide shoal. It was V-shaped. That means he sailed in here and got stuck. So it's no worse place to be. You can't go out backwards. You have to drag over this big wide shoal. That's why I almost passed him. I didn't do it. So he'd gone pretty far into it before he realized what his peril was. So now, couple this with the fact that there's this interesting rhythm going on out there all the time. It's the tide. And it's shallow, and then it's deep, and it's shallow, and it's deep, and shallow, and it's deep. Some days it's extremely shallow, you get the picture. The tide is always changing, the depth of the water out there. Well, he picked it just as the tide was going out. He'd run around at high tide. Well, the way off was pretty clear to me, so I worked into about 50 feet and hailed him to take my line and make it fast fast to a balcony, then just sit tight and I'll run it out. And there's two things you got to learn. You always coil your rope in two coils. Always. It's the line first off the rope. Always in two coils. And you throw one, and then you release the other. And then you get all the way up there. If you try it in one coil, I guarantee you'll have a mess. And you'll have to reel it back in. So I'm going to do two coils and then pitch the line to the angles. I was so good, I got it right across the line. And he made it fast to his balcony. I said, now just sit down and I'll pull you off. And what you do with the nylon line is that you stretch your boat out way out from the thing you're towing, and the line keeps stretching and stretching and stretching. So it starts out at ½ inch, and then goes to 3/8, and right on down, until finally it's stretched as tight as it can go, and then you hold your boat with the throttle against that pressure, and the other boat scoots right up behind you. Man, it's a slick trick. It's really cool. It's fun to do. This big old rubber band, you're pulling right up behind you. So I told him that's what we're going to do now. We're shy. Not exactly talking. And I said, just sit down, make sure everything's secure, and we'll go. He said, no. Sorry? I said, no, I've got to get the sails down. I said, So I went along, he goes and he takes all the sails down. I thought he meant just, drop them and come. No, turn them off. Hold up and stuff to load. I'm way late now. We don't have cell phones. I know the people are going to be angry here. So then he gets everything ready and says, okay. And I take off and I do the thing that I just told you about. It's just right on out there and bring the boat up slow, toss it up and then stop. I went back, the boat turns slightly facing and starts to roll through the mud and stops. Whoa. It's a little more throttle on it. Now, I can't put more throttle or I'll pop the cleat or break the line. So that means I've got to back down on it. Now that's a boat. So when you back down, you have a propeller in the water, which is seeking to find anything it can, and your line is going to be wrapped around your body. So you got to come off the throttle, and you got to pull the line in and steer until you get close enough to the boat to start. Close enough to tow. I said, what do you think the trouble is? You don't know what you're doing. Oh. So look, let me try again. So you got everything clear, is everything inboard? Everything's fine. All right, here we go. So we start out again, and just repeat, same thing. Why go through it again? Now I'm frustrated. And I'm a little angry because he's not being very polite, and I'm late, and I look like a fool. So I come on back in this time again, I do it, and I look. And there's this taut line coming off his stern. I mean, it's tight. It goes. He said, what's that? It's my anchor. So get the damn thing up. No. I need to keep the boat straight while you pull it off. Carry always two things. Knife. Yes. And a watch. All right, ready. So I pulled the knife out. I said, you have a knife. He said, of course. So we'll cut that damn line off of there when I'm leaving you here. I said, I'm not going to leave my anchor. I said, okay. So I start to take the line off. He changes his mind. He pops. Cuts the anchor loose. The old boat just comes right on out to sea. And he gets ready to go. I get ready to go. I'm pulling up my line and putting it on the deck as he goes by. And remember I said that he gave the international sign and then he gave another signal? Well, that's the signal we left there. So I remember him, and there was one other that I really remember. It was enforced. It was a dark and stormy night. Forecast. Had the white back there. It was a gorgeous sundown. You know what those sundowns are like pre-northern? Oh man, there's nothing prettier. So my wife and I are sitting on the porch we watch and think, well, maybe they want to do that. Maybe they're parking there to watch the sun. Maybe that's what they want to sleep tonight. Yeah, that's what here. But no, the guy slips over. I see somebody slip over the side of the boat and wake up and come through the brush. He's heading that way. The same way. Well, he shows up. He tells me the trouble. I know the trouble already. And the tide is running out. He's got a boat full of people. A boat full of people. It's one of those deals where he took people on a sunset cruise on his new boat. So he's hard around. I tell him there's no way I can get you off. You know, I don't know what your boat weighs, but it's a whole lot more than I've got power to put you off. You got a big old keel underneath you. I can't do it. It's probably a 32, 34-foot boat. It's a good size boat. But I will come out and we'll offload your people. I'll take them into town. And we can make your boat secure. We can run out 3 anchors or 2, whatever you got, we'll make it secure. And we'll kind of help you watch it. And so that's what we did. And by now, the wind is rising, the sun is going down, the tide is going out, the boat is leaning over. People are scared to death. I can see why. It's getting cold, it's blowing, crazy. And as we come up, I have to work up on them and put the bow, my boat, my whaler is a big old one bow, put it up against the side of his boat and hold it. And if you turn your wheel this way, the boat goes this way. You know what I'm talking about? It's called horsing. So in order to fight the current and the wind, I'm kind of horsing the boat, and we're shouting at people to get over. And they have to climb over the bow of my boat, over the side of their boat, onto the bow of my boat, and walk back. And so I'm, giving them what instructions I can. I'm holding the boat against it. It's getting dark. It's really starting to howl. Now the wind is really up. It's becoming a dangerous situation. And the first one on board is a little kid. He jumps on like a monkey, not a problem. Best time he's ever had in his life. He's having a good time. The next person on is a man who I thought was pretty old, probably about my age, a little bit older now. And he had a little bit more difficult time because he had a kind of gimp knee, but we got him on board, we got him settled. Then came a couple of people who were middle-aged and didn't have any trouble. This is, you feel like that act in the circus where they open up the Volkswagen and 12, 15 times just keep coming out. Well, finally we get to the last one, and it's an elderly lady. And she has in her hand a pocketbook, a big purse. Okay. And she's got it in her hand, and she has skirts on. And so, got her skirts together like this. And she's got this pocketbook in her hand, and the boats are going. I say, you're going to have to hand me the purse. I'll take the purse, and then you can get on. No. I don't know what's in that damn purse. But she held on to the purse. It's, well, you have to put one hand on the bow rail, and then put your foot over. Finally, this guy who ruins the boat, when we came up to take him, comes down and he helps. She didn't know about that at all. But he gets her across, and we were settled in. She just simply won't let go of the purse. And I had an extra rain jacket in mine, so I gave it to him. We come into town now, we got them all. I offered this guy, I said, you want a bottle of wine? You want to come up and stay with us? No, I'm the captain. I stay with the ship. So we leave him all by himself, and we head into town. Reach the dock, and it's just kind of a reverse, and that lady still would like that little purse. Just would not like that little purse. Never said a thing. Not a word. All right. Next day, we got a salvage person out there. They blew a hole. You can do that with an outboard boat. You can use the prop to blow a trench to the bridge, and then they pulled him back out. He was safe. It cost him weeks' wages, but he was safe, and everybody forgot the incident. Many years later, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I was asked to go make some presentation at the museum in Corpus Christi, and we're over there, and we're standing there, not the museum, the aquarium, and we're standing at the aquarium, and we're doing the, what you do, what we just did over here, having a glass of wine with a bit of cheese. And this guy comes up, and he said, "Do you speak the Lighthouse?" And I thought, I need more information. Well, I'm sure it was you. I'm totally sure it was you. Okay, yeah, that was a lighthouse keeper. So do you remember making a rescue? The sailboat that are going around? Right at the lighthouse. I said, yeah, I sure do. And he said, I just want to thank you. You saved my life. I said, wow, not the way I remember it. Okay. All right, well, how did you have done it? And he said, remember that lady? I said, oh yeah, I remember that lady. He said, that was my brand new mother-in-law. And if you hadn't taken her off that boat, she would spend the night there. Thank you.
Where were your years on the Lighthouse? When did you start?
We went there in '84 and left 18 and a half years later. A few years ago. And we went for 3 years. That was our contract. And it just never got done. It was rust up sleeves. It left its mark on me. Definitely. Very definitely. It's interesting to represent a man like Charles Pratt, who is known more by legend than by actual fact, and to represent a place like that, like the Lighthouse. We've got this whole story. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Of the next 8,000 pictures taken of the lighthouse in the evening, do you have a favorite?
Yes, but I can't show it to you. We have probably close to 1,000 shots that we took while we were out there. My favorite was of the morning that we had a deep, deep freeze. And there were icicles hanging down from the lighthouse tower and from our porch. And there was a peregrine, peregrine falcon, sitting on the bar stool that was our coffee table in the front porch. That's my favorite. It was tough. No, thank you. Well, excuse me, one thing. Hang on. Now, I've been wrong before. Okay, so this is not the first time. Many people ask me about the chimneys on the Lighthouse building. The main building has 2 chimneys on it, one chimney and 4 different fireplaces and 4 different rooms. They will not draw. You cannot build a fire room because they weren't intended for wood. They're intended for kerosene heat. It's nothing but a flue. A lot of people came to the Lighthouse for tours while I was there. Almost all of them asked the same question. And I gave the same answer. No, the place was never heated with wood. Look around you. Where are the trees? Where are you going to get trees? Out here. There was a 3,000-gallon tank of kerosene here from way early on, and that's what they heated with, and that's that. There was no wood. Can you imagine how terrible it would be, et cetera, et cetera. I found this on eBay last week. 1877, U.S. Lighthouse Service, U.S. Lighthouse Establishment. It's an order for provisions to the Aransas Pass Light Station to Keeper Humphreys. He's the one who was finally fired for alcoholism. Well, they didn't fire him for that. They fired him because he was drunk all the time. 1 cord of firewood